Oh, I can do that.
Welcome to part 2 of the refinishing or restoration of this mid-century modern huge piece. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a photo here that I found online of one that looks exactly like this in original condition that had been for sale at some point. And I'm going to put it in right here so that you can see it, what the whole thing will be looking like when it's put back together again. This week, I'm debating on how I'm going to stain the top, and I've just been thinking a lot about it. The weather is not very cooperative because it's so humid. It's so very humid. It's hard. When I came in this morning to look at it, I could see that the front had just a little bit of blushing, but it wasn't underneath the finish. It was on top. But that's just how much humidity there is. Even though it's drier today, I had to wipe down the whole front where the cabinet doors are because it was all sticky, and so I don't want anything to happen to the surface finish. But I was actually hoping to put on a coat of the stain today, and let me show you what I have in mind. So humid. So for today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to prep the surface with some liquid shellac. And in this shellac, I'm going to put some, this is called natural umber. And what it really is just raw umber. And it's a pigment, it says from Italy. And yeah, it's really nice. And what that's going to do is, you'll often see me prepping the surface with an oil or with shellac before I put any stain on, because I like to build up my coats. I don't like to just take a raw wood and throw stain on it and then guess what's going to happen. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to force the position. So I want to know what's going to happen. So this is my first step. In the meantime, I can let that dry a couple of days. This is a very, very mild, a modest color when I prep it. It looks really dark, but then when you put it on, it's actually just a little bit. And what that does is kind of prep the surface. And what I can see after that, which I'll show you, of course, is it's going to show me places on the top that might be picking up stain in a way that is going to be a problem. And it'll give me an idea of what kind of color I'm going to get when I use my stain. So when I use my oil stain, and I wouldn't use I rarely use water-based stains, but if I was going to use it, I wouldn't be using it on this piece because it's MDF. And I don't want to put any kind of water-based product on it. So I'm going to prep it with shellac. That's going to protect my wood. And I'm going to put a little pigment in the shellac and just start to bring that color up. So let's do that now. I just have an old plastic container. It has a top on it. I'm going to end up putting the whole can in. I'm not going to use a lot. Let's see. And I'll keep it covered. I'm not worried about brush marks because it's very self-leveling, and I'm going to sand over this because it's just the way I do it. So I apply it, I let it dry. I usually do a little fine sanding at least. And so and this dries really fast. This is not my finish. This is pre-stain. So it is kind of humid today because normally shellac dries really fast. Now I could have added more denatured alcohol into it, but I wanted to get a good coating on here and just to see what my wood is looking like and to give it just a little bit of protection from my stain. So yeah, let's go back and see if we can't either order a stain or pick up a stain. I don't really like to use the Minwax stains. Sometimes I do use VAR. That's a pretty good stain, VAR, oil stain. So let's see. Okay, so I went down the street and I got this color, which looks kind of nice. It's called Black Caviar, and it should be more along the lines of this that matches here. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but of course, this top, pulls very red. And so putting a little bit of the raw umber in it kind of cuts that red a bit. Now, this is going to take forever to dry. You can see that it looks sticky in places. And shellac usually dries, spray shellac will dry almost instantly, but this shellac should dry within 30 minutes. And it's been over 30 minutes. So, yeah, I'm going to have to leave it and come in and sand it tomorrow and see what it looks like. I mean, I love this color, just the natural color, but that's my preference. There's a couple of sticky spots here. So what I plan to do tomorrow is to come in with like a steel wool usually. I don't have anything huge that I have to take down. So I'll use a nice fresh, steel wool just to kind of cut that top. And then I'll start putting the stain down. So yeah, I don't know if that's like a bare spot that I missed or whether that's just a variation in the wood. That's no big deal. I'm not really concerned about it. I wish the weather was better this year, but it is what it is. So this has been quite a few hours. It's shiny, but it's dry. The shellac is shiny anyway. But I'm going to sand that down and see what I get for coverage. So it looks like there's like a little drip there. I don't know if you can see the drip. So I'm going to sand that down with, I don't know. I'll either use a 600 or let me try the steel wool and see what I get, because I don't want to take the shellac off. I just want to level it out. I'm wearing gloves more to keep oils off of the finish than anything else. And, I can't find my scissors. So I'm going to use this entire piece. But yeah, that's the 4/0 steel wool. I just wanted to show you that, not a lot of dust comes off of it, very little. But what I am going to do is just dampen a shop towel and wipe that down one more time. And so, yes, I'm going to let that dry a few hours. I think, probably this afternoon I can give it another coat and then let both of those coats dry overnight. It's supposed to be a sunny week, no rain, so just the normal humidity up here. So we'll see. This is after 72 hours of drying, and when I went to go over it with a little bit of 4-aught steel wool, it's removing the finish. So I didn't quite get to finish it this week because it just wouldn't stop being humid. and my stain wouldn't dry. And I cannot put a clear coat on until everything is really dry. But it looks good. The clients liked the color. And so this is going to work for them. And, I still have some touching up to do. And my plan is to wait until this is very dry. It has 3 coats of stain on it, and it's an oil stain. So I have to wait for that top stain to dry. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm happy with what I have, and I think that is going to work for them. I have one touch up here that's drying before I finish it off. It's a problem area, but what I ended up having to do is start to paint it, the colors in the wood grain. So once that's dry, I'll start putting on my darker layers. Because with this kind of color, I start light and end up dark because it's just too difficult to do it the opposite way. Many times I start dark and go light, but not with this kind of color correction. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. This piece is going to be picked up this week because I'm sure I'm going to end up getting this right. I hope, fingers crossed. Just have to have the weather cooperate. And what I will do is I will post final photos of this particular piece in my what used to be community, but it's postings on YouTube, and I'll also put them on Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, follow Owling Dog, and you'll always see updated pieces that I'm working on and final finishes here. So yeah, so you will see the complete restoration of this mid-century modern China type cabinet. They do have the glass for it at home, so hopefully the client will send photos once it's all set up in their house. And again, if they do, and if they're willing to share them, of course, with their permission, I'll post them on Instagram and to my community post on YouTube so you can see it. Quite a unique piece, and I hope the clients enjoy them for many, many years to come. It was originally her grandmother's piece from Germany, so it's very sentimental to her, and yeah, I hope they're happy. Take care and have a great rest of your weekend.